What do Marilyn Monroe, Charlie Chaplin, and a little girl named Caroline have in common? Well, they're all said to haunt this hotel behind me. And tonight, I'm gonna find out if it's true. This is the Hollywood Roosevelt. Just like you can feel like there's something here with you. So we wouldn't really be looking for ghosts if we didn't see what's going on backstage. Whoa, look at the creepy wigs and masks. Wow. Backstage at the Roosevelt Theater, which, by the way, is an iconic place. So this hotel is one of the most haunted in the entire United States, and definitely the most haunted here in Los Angeles, California. It was built in 1920. It's the oldest operating hotel in the city, and it's almost 100 years old. It's got an insane history tied to Hollywood. I did a full review out of 50 points in 5 categories. The categories are ambiance, room, service, dining, and it factor. There's so much to do around the property, so let's start with the ambiance. All right, so haunting-wise, the hotel during the day is mild enough, but the ambiance and atmosphere overall is pretty average, if we're being honest. It's a mixture between 1920s and 1960s, and some of the places look like they haven't been renovated since. There's some weird smells, some weird rooms, and some weird art that for some reason is all black and white. I'm sitting here at the Tropicana pool. There's not a lot of people around. It's not too crowded. It's a very warm, very comfortable 82 degrees in there. Apparently there's a famous mural, but I've never heard of it personally. I've more so heard about the screenings that they do in this pool, where they'll put on a classic film or a horror movie, and you can sit and actually book tickets to come and watch the movie at the pool, which is a cool feature. Overall, it feels very tranquil, peaceful, calm. It's a nice, recognizable part of the Roosevelt. So next to that pool is the massage garden, which offers a couple of different massages, pretty simple, and there's also a small gym. Normally I would show you some of the different equipment that's unique or interesting, but this is it. That's the extent of the gym. And honestly, if there were 5 or 6 people that were in here, it would feel pretty crowded. So let's get back to the hotel. So you can't probably hear it, but they're playing this kind of old-timey Hollywood classic music here. But the building itself is pretty run down. They've done a decent job of keeping it up, given that it's 100 years old. But the history makes up for some of that dilapidation. Like the first ever Academy Awards were hosted here. Marilyn Monroe lived here for 2 years. We're gonna look at her suite. That I heard is super interesting. She also haunts a mirror in one of the stairwells. And I don't know, maybe we'll get a chance to see her. All right, it's getting later and the hotel is eerily quiet. So let's make our way back to the suite, give it a ambiance score, and hello? So let's give the Roosevelt an ambiance score. During the day, you have the pool, you have the gym, the restaurants, of course, and access to all of that. At night, you've got that spooky ghost factor, the hidden bookshelf room that takes you into a theater. You've got a couple of great bars and a good amount of things that you can do here, but it does all close pretty early. On top of all of that, everything in the hotel does need a refurbishment. It's been around since the 20s. It's on Hollywood Boulevard, so it gets a little bit run down. With all of that in mind, but all of the good things as well, we give the ambiance a 6.5 out of 10. So this is a standard room at the Roosevelt. It doesn't feel that haunted. Not as haunted as the rest of the hotel. It's not my favorite room that I've ever been in. The artwork is creepy, and I think at about 2 or 3 in the morning, that's gonna spook me a little bit, especially this one that reminds me of that YouTube video. You know, the one with the car scare at the end when the car goes around the corner. If you know what I'm talking about, comment in the comments. In fact, this is a little curiosity cabinet, and honestly, if I hear this noise in the middle of the night, I might just retire from making these videos altogether, honestly. I don't know if I'd survive that. They have a mixture of interesting snacks. Of course, you have a lover's kit. Seems like the kind of place that you'd have that. Wait till we take a look at the Marilyn room. Deck of cards. They do magic shows here at the Hollywood Roosevelt, so I guess that makes sense if you want to practice for the show. I like it when they have a little bit of this merchandise in the room. I actually think more hotels should do that. Down below, you have your fridge. That's also fully stocked. Everything is pretty expensive. You got small Voss waters, large Voss waters, $6 and $11. You know, at the time of making this video, looking at about $200 to $400 a night for the base room. Overall, for that price point in a 4-star hotel, solid room. We're gonna look at the Marilyn suite in just a second before we do the shower test and the bed test tonight. It's supposed to be the most haunted in this whole hotel. And guests say they see her in every mirror in that room. We're messing with fire here. Now this is more like it. This is the Marilyn Monroe suite. It definitely has a heaviness to this room, for sure. She lived here for 2.5 years. The studios put her up in this suite. You can kind of feel that she used to live here. She did her first ever photo shoot here at the hotel. Look at this thing. There's a mirror above this bed. And the walls are padded. It's like an insane asylum. I think obviously if you're gonna book this room, it's because you love Marilyn Monroe, you like the history that happened here in the hotel. This is such an interesting little spot in the room. Definitely has this like heaviness to it, almost like she's still lingering around. And honestly, it might be your best chance to spend a night with Marilyn Monroe. Let's get back to our room. I'm back in the base room again. I'm about to do that shower test we missed before. Quick note, I like a fluffy, nice towel in a hotel, especially 4 or 5 stars. This is kind of more like a dish rag or like a towel you'll clean your car with. You know, that's something that can ruin a good shower. So the shower test really is 3 different factors. We're looking at the pressure, we're looking at the size, and we're looking at ease of use. First thing, it's a tub. Kind of hard to get into, and also there's no way you're turning on this shower without getting wet, which isn't fun for this review. There we go. Oh, it's going on the floor. Here we go. Pressure is weak, low pressure shower, and the size is decent. In the tub of the shower, there's someone else's hair in there. Yeah, again, across the board, pretty average. We need to do that bed test and give it a final score. $100. So I'm in my $100 robe from the Roosevelt. I'm about to go to sleep for the night and test this bed. I'm gonna set up a camera over there and you can watch to see if we get any ghost encounters. There's been a lot of guests who've stayed here that say that they hold them down in bed when they're sleeping. We'll see in the morning, maybe not. So that was the room at the Roosevelt. I slept through the night in this bed and it was okay. Honestly, the scariest part about this hotel is the price that you might pay for the Marilyn suite. This bed is not the worst I've slept in. Definitely had worse. The Disneyland Hotel comes to mind. but it's definitely not a Four Seasons bed like Anguilla. Overall, I gave this room a 6 out of 10. Very hungry, could use a cup of coffee. I'm gonna go review all of the restaurants here on the property. We're gonna see some really cool things around the hotel tonight. But for now, I wanna show you breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the Roosevelt. The Roosevelt has 2 restaurants, one casual, one a little higher end, a cafe, and a main bar. I'm gonna review each of them and start with the breakfast selection at the cafe. Poolside at the Tropicana Pool is the Rosy Cafe, so it's a kind of sit-down, lounge, relaxing breakfast spot. It's definitely a busy day today, but they found a seat for us right away. It's a small menu. It's a simple menu, but I'm excited to try it. People seem like they're just hanging here all day, having coffee, relaxing by the pool. Let's dive in. The 2 most popular things on the menu, you've got the brekkie sandwich and the breakfast burrito. Came out quickly, which I was very happy about. Let's give it a try. Definitely good. The bread's a little thick and dry. It's got a really nice flavor. Let's try the burrito. That's pretty good. I see why they give you hot sauce. With the hot sauce, that is solid. Overall, the breakfast is good. I'm excited for the lunch. The fast casual restaurant, 25 Degrees, it is a burger restaurant that apparently is voted the best in Los Angeles by Time Out magazine, which I have personally not heard of, but it sounds like it's gonna be great. It's called 25 Degrees because that's the Fahrenheit temperature difference between a medium rare and a well done burger. I ordered the 2 best burgers on the menu. I've had a lot of burgers. That's fantastic. Time Out LA might just be right. On the flip side, these are some of probably the worst sweet potato fries I've ever had. They put brown sugar all over the tops. They're all pretty burnt, so it's not the best. Classic burger, look at that. You getting all that? Wow. Both very good, but the spicy burger definitely takes it. The last restaurant here is the Shirley Brasserie, named after, of course, Shirley Temple. It is a French Californian fusion restaurant that looks incredible, has won many awards. In fact, the bourguignon, which I ordered tonight, was named the best in California. I'm excited to try that. I can't wait to see what they make for us here. And of course, we got dessert. Look at this. So for those who don't know, escargot is snail. There you go. It has kind of a fish tank taste, almost like algae. It really is good escargot, but generally speaking, that's kind of the flavor profile for it. So some people love it, some people don't. Wow, if the dessert is like that, we're in for a real treat. So the dessert just got placed. I don't think so. That was a miss, unfortunately. The dinner itself, spectacular. The dessert was okay. Actually a lot less terrifying out here by the pool. Still a little creepy. So those are the food options here at the Roosevelt, and what better way to start the night than to grab a signature cocktail at the Library Bar, which is their primary bar here on the property. The best espresso martini I've ever had. And it's out of this world good. So highly recommend the Library Bar. I was really impressed with the dining here at the Roosevelt. The breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu options were very diverse, very high quality, felt like farm to table, tasty menus. Some of the dishes actually were some of the best that I've ever had at any restaurant. The spicy burger and the espresso martini, for example. Some of the dishes were unacceptable, honestly, just not quite as good as what you'd expect from a 4-star or 5-star hotel. With all of this in mind, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, every one of these restaurants added a 18% service charge gratuity to the bill. The service was solid, but maybe not always warranting an 18%. The only way we can really review the service, however, is if we do a service test. In every review that I've done on the channel, I call the front desk and ask for something a little bit weird, just to see how they respond to it. I have an idea for this hotel. A quick question for you. Is there anyone on your staff that would be available for like a tour of the hotel tonight?
That would be our sales department, and they're not in today until tomorrow.
Just like a quick walkthrough, just to give us kind of an idea of like the history and everything.
No, yeah, that would just be sales. I'm just not fully aware. I would ask, but they're not here.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so they did not technically pass the service test, and honestly, she could have been a little more cordial on the phone. Yes, it is reasonable that a different department handles that, but as a guest staying here, trying to become more engaged with my stay, and to not offer any solutions is pretty lackluster. There's no text-based communication system. There's no welcome amenities or letter. The staff at the front desk during check-in was slow and not really accommodating. I asked about booking the spare room, which is the bowling alley here, and they gave me incorrect information. They told me to book it online, and there is no booking portal online for that. You have to just literally walk up to see if you can get in there. So all of those things felt kind of subpar or meh compared to other hotels, even at the 4-star category, and I gave the service a 6 out of 10. We can probably do our own ghost tour tonight. Let's see what we find. I think I found the haunted Marilyn mirror. Look at rooms like this. This is insane. The Roosevelt is right on Hollywood Boulevard, which makes all of this more impressive. We're kind of getting into the it factor. So the it factor score is that special thing that makes a hotel unique, that makes you want to come back time and time again, that you really can't put your finger on. The it factor here is that golden age of Hollywood. It is Marilyn Monroe and Shirley Temple and Charlie Chaplin that literally weaved the history and fabric of Hollywood right here in the Roosevelt in many ways, back when it was Hollywoodland and not even Hollywood like it currently is. However, there are some quirky things about the hotel, like that hidden bookshelf theater, the magic shows, a Halloween party they throw every year, and so much more. I gave the it factor a 7.5 out of 10. So that was the haunted Hollywood Roosevelt here in Los Angeles. And if you add all the scores together from this video, I gave it a 33.5 out of 50. I do recommend this hotel next time you're in LA. But if you like haunted hotels, check out this one in Colorado that actually inspired The Shining. It's called the Stanley. If you like Los Angeles but you don't like haunted hotels, check out the Hotel Bel Air review that I did. And with that, I'm Ryan Walker. It's time to check out of this hotel. We'll see you on the next one.
Hear the church bells tolling.